want to do is we're going to do a walk through the Old Testament and a walk through the New Testament. The motions for it, because in this Bible story school, those key words and phrases are the foundation for all of our stories. And so as you're watching this, you'll have a chance to learn this. Every motion for the Old Testament, every motion for the New Testament has a story that matches with it. This becomes our foundation. It's Old Testament survey and New Testament survey put together so that we can get the entire Bible, or at least 140 stories out of it, into our heads, into our hearts, as our foundation for this course. And after that, we'll go into other things. But right now, we're going to show you first the walk through the Old Testament. Ready? All right, here we go. Creation, fall, flood, nations, 4,000 years, Persian Gulf, Salt, Sarah, Abraham, Lot, Terah, Tigris, Euphrates, Haran, Terah died, Sea of Galilee, Jordan River, Dead Sea, Mediterranean, Israel, Ishmael, Isaac, Esau, Jacob, Joseph, Egypt, Jews, Egypt, 400 years, bondage, Moses, let my people go. No. 10 plagues, Passover, Red Sea, Mount Sinai, law, tabernacle, Levites and priests, offerings and feasts, counting the faces at Kadesh Oasis, 12 spies, wonders, dies, Moab, Moses, second law, dies, Joshua, Jordan, Jericho, divide, conquer, south, north, divide, settle, 12 tribes, 400 years, judges, Deborah, Gideon, Samson. Everyone did what was right in their own eyes except Ruth and Samuel. United Kingdom, 120 years. Saul, no heart. David, whole heart. Solomon, half heart. Divided kingdom, 400 years. North, south, Israel, Judah, 19, 20, 0, 8. Prophets speak, shape up or ship out. Assyria, Israel, scattered. Babylonia, Judah, exile, 70 years. Persia, Judah, returns. Zerubbabel, temple. Esther, queen. Ezra, people. Nehemiah, walls. 400 years, silence, Christ. Good job, good job. Here's what I think I'd like to do. We'll do this one more time. This time I'm going to give more of the verbal cues, because some of the people watching may have never seen this before. And they don't know some of the things that you're thinking as we went that. So we might do it slightly slower. Let me just say some of those words in between, okay? For example, you know, when we do Tigris and Euphrates, they came up from down there. They came up through the Tigris, Euphrates. They went to Haran, where Terah died, okay? So we'll do it like that. So let me just throw those words in, and we'll do it one more time, okay? All right, here we go. Where does the story start? Creation. And after that, the fall. And then flood. Nations. How long ago was this? 4,000 years. Where does our story start? Which is by the Persian Gulf. If you stick your finger in and taste it, it tastes like salt. Who's that stand for? Sarah, Abraham, Lot, and Terah. They traveled up through the Tigris and Euphrates to Haran, where Terah died. 4 bodies of water. What are they? Sea of Galilee, Jordan River, Dead Sea, Mediterranean. Now the land in between them? Israel. Ishmael, Isaac. Why do we say this? The right eye, the right son. Okay? Followed by Esau with the hairy arm and Jacob, the smooth operator. Okay, who's the next one? Joseph, who goes to Egypt, followed by the Jews who go to Egypt. They're there for how long? 400 years of bondage. Who comes along? Moses. What's he say? Let my people go. And what's the answer? No. Then comes 10 plagues. The last one is the Passover, and they go through the Red Sea to Mount Sinai, where they receive the law, and they set up the tabernacle. Who works in the tabernacle? Levites and priests. What do? Offerings and feasts. Then they go and they do the counting the faces at what place? Kadesh Oasis. Then they send out 12 spies, and then comes wanders and dies. And they end up back at Moab, where Moses gives the second law and he dies. Who comes next? Joshua. Crosses over the Jordan, and they go to Jericho. Okay, very good. And they go in and they divide and conquer. South and north. Then they go in and divide and settle. How many tribes? 12 tribes. Then comes Judges for 400 years. Who's one? Deborah. Who's another? Gideon. Who's another? Samson. Everyone did what was right in their own eyes except Ruth and Samuel. Then comes a period of the United Kingdom. Who was the first king? I'm sorry, yes, that lasted for 120 years. And then who's the first king? Saul. He had no heart. The next king? David. He has whole heart. And the next king? Solomon. And he has half heart. After united comes what? Divided kingdom. For how long? 400 years. Talk about it. It's north and south, Israel and Judah, 19 and 20, 0 and 8. Now just to pause for a moment. What's the 19 and 20, 0 and 8? Kings. 19 kings, 20 kings, 0 good kings, 8 good kings. Good kings. Yes, okay. All right. And then comes the message from the prophets speak. What is their message? Shape up or ship out. And who's the first country? Assyria to Israel, scattered them. Babylonia to Judah, they took them into exile. How long? 70 years. And then who brings them back? Persia, Judah, return. 4 parts to the return. Who's the first? Zerubbabel builds the temple. The second one is Esther. She's the queen. Then it's Ezra. He's the people. And then Nehemiah, the walls. Then comes 400 years of silence, followed by Christ. Good job. Good job. Very good. Now, that's the walk through the Old Testament. There's one more piece, and it begins where this one leaves off, right? We have a 400-year period of silence. Why is that?
Great pause. God was not speaking.
God quit speaking. Nobody's listening, so God quit speaking. They're in rebellion, so he quit speaking. During that time, we pick up with what happened a little bit during that time as we start the walk through the New Testament. You guys ready for that?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do the walk through the New Testament. We'll do it the same way with a little bit of the explanations, okay? So the walk through the New Testament, the second part of our foundation begins with that 400 years of
silence
Okay, and it ended with what book?
Malachi.
And it picks up with
Matthew.
Okay, during that time, there's 3 world what?
Powers.
The first being Greece, and what do they give us?
Language.
The second one is Israel, and they give us hopes. And the third is Rome, and they give us roads. Which way can you go on the roads?
Politics.
Politics. You can go either way. That's politics. And the first group is the Sanhedrin, followed by the scribes and the Sadducees, the Pharisees, publicans, zealots. Okay? The Gospels give us 4 distinct views, but one good news. Now, where does this story start on our map? Bethlehem with the birth. Bethlehem, birth. Then we move to Nazareth, where he's a carpenter. Then he goes to the Jordan, where he's baptized by John. After that, he goes over into the wilderness, where it's tempted by Satan. After that, he goes to the capital, Jerusalem, okay, where there is a second birth. Okay, he comes north to Sychar, woman at the well. More north to Nazareth, where it's rejection. More north to Capernaum. Okay? And then it starts the spat. Selection of the 12, Sermon on the Mount, power over Satan, over Satan, and then parable start. A storm still, a crowd filled, testimony of Peter, transfiguration. Okay? He's back to where? The capital? Jerusalem. Stones flew. Jesus withdrew. Where'd he go? Perea. 2 main messages over there. Counting the cost and seeking the lost. Then he goes to Judea. What 2 messages there? Lazarus raised and Zacchaeus praised. Then he comes back to the capital, Jerusalem. What is it? Triumphal entry. Okay, and then the temple cleansing, followed by Last Supper, and then prayed, betrayed, tried, denied, crucified, resurrected. Then we pick up in the book of Acts, okay? What's he do? He ascends. We use the word ascends for the next several things. Ascends, spirit, cures, embezzlement, night release, deacons, Stephen. Okay? Stephen begins the persecution. Okay? Followed by the Philip's preaching, Paul's conversion, and Peter's vision. Then comes the first missionary journey, lasts for 2 years. Okay? Where does he go? Galatia. Things go so well there, but it causes questions, so they meet back at Jerusalem. Who meets? The council. What question do they ask? Law? No. Second missionary journey, 3 years, Macedonia, Achaia, Greece. Okay? Third missionary journey, right? 4 years, Asia. This brings up the trials. Who's the first person? Felix. And the second? Festus and Agrippa. Okay? First, imprisonment, freedom. Second, imprisonment, expansion. Okay? That's it. That's our walk through the New Testament. Very good. Good job.